How many times has someone asked you, what do you want to be when you grow up? I remember when I was in middle school, a guidance counselor asked me that question, and I was familiar with what doctors, lawyers, firefighters do. But I just couldn't see myself as a scientist. Unfortunately, I had a misconception that to be a scientist, I had to be a white guy in a white coat and do laboratory experiments. However, during a summer research project, I was able to work with real scientists at the Smithsonian Marine Station in Fort Pierce, Florida. Dr. Valerie Paul is the head scientist there, where scientists from all over the world congregate to do research in and around our Indian River Lagoon. Other mentors that assisted in the study were Dr. Teresa Meikle and Dr. Jennifer Sneed. The project I worked on was to locate and quantify cyanobacterial blooms in the Indian River Lagoon and then investigate how it can affect other organisms that live there. One reason cyanobacteria is important is because the chemicals or compounds they produce can be used in medicines. Cyanobacteria compounds have been shown to inhibit the growth of bacteria, fungi, and viruses. These compounds help cyanobacteria survive in environments like our Indian River Lagoon. But at the same time, cyanobacteria can have harmful effects on benthic communities like seagrass beds and coral reefs. It is important to note that scientific experiments are not the principal route to scientific knowledge, but they are an important part of the process. We did several experiments in the lab at the Smithsonian. For instance, we collected cyanobacteria from the lagoon and extracted compounds from it. Then we added different concentration amounts of the Lingbia extract to the sea urchin food and offered it to them to observe which options the sea urchins preferred. The control food had no cyanobacteria compounds in it. What we found was that our sea urchins preferred cyanobacteria extracts. They chowed it even at high concentrations. So my preconceived ideas about science were not totally false because scientists do experiments in labs. But their work includes so much more than that. For example, before we did any experiments, we went out into the lagoon and did an observational field study. We observed locations where cyanobacteria could be found and even where it wasn't found. We used random sampling techniques with quadrats to quantify and monitor the growth of cyanobacteria to help us better understand the size and density of the blooms in different locations. Another way scientists learn about our natural world is to perform manipulative field experiments. Think of these experiments as a combination of both worlds where scientists do experiments in the natural environment away from the lab. This comparison of submerged tiles shows less growth, fouling, on the controlled tiles, the open tiles, as opposed to the tiles enclosed in a mesh barrier. That's the variable being tested. Working with scientists from the Smithsonian, performing observational field studies, and seeing this manipulative field experiment made me realize that lab experiments are important, but they are not the only route to scientific knowledge. So, who are these scientists and what do they do? Scientists are people of all ages. They come from all walks of life. They work on important and relevant research which oftentimes enhances the quality of life for people and other organisms that share our Earth. My hope is that the next time someone asks you about what career path you'd like to take, you will have a better understanding than I did at your age about the exciting and rewarding work that comes with being a real scientist.